Welcome back to Designed. In the first half of the show, we had Motiofixo to share with us their thoughts on entrepreneurship and youth leadership. Also keen to explore this area at a young age is Living Food's chef Ashley Yiin, who takes care of the meals at the Living Food Bistro and Cafe. Good evening, Ashley.
Good evening,
Welcome to
Vivian.
the show. Now, Ashley enjoys creating recipes that support the health and soul of the human body. She spends time doing research and experimenting on living food. Having done both culinary arts and restaurant management in Taylor's University, her passion right now is cooking. But I heard from her just now, she said that she's more into managing the kitchen. A thing that she loves doing together with her mother, who is also a chef at Living Food Bistro and Cafe. I'm interested to find out from Ashley just exactly what she enjoys doing. Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great. Can you tell me, let's start this with the idea behind Living Food. What is it about?
Living Food. Actually, Living Food started off from my dad's company, Living Well. And he started that actually way before Living Food. It all started off 10 years ago when my family started going healthy. I came back one day from boarding school and it was just everything was healthy cooking, organic, everything. And then from that we moved to KL because I started studying in Taylor's. And from that they launched Living Food halfway when I was doing my course in culinary arts in Taylor's. And then from then, that's how Living Food came about.
Did you ask your parents that why did they suddenly have an interest in Living Food?
Okay, when we became healthy 10 years ago, it was because my dads were having health problems. And so we started living that well, having Living Food in our life, And 10 years after that, this is how Living Food came about. We decided we wanted to share with everybody, how you can eat healthy, what you can have. And you can't find it anywhere in Malaysia. So that's why we started off to share with everybody and make sure they're aware of what healthy food is all about.
Well, let's talk about you. How did you get involved in this family business? You were juggling between studies and life, and you were at 3 different places at a time when your mom and dad told you one day that you got to be working at the restaurant.
Yes, my part of my life when I was halfway through university, one of my Canadian chef had to leave, and basically I had to have a crash course of what they learned from a year to 3 months in a week. So I learned basically all the basics, how to make everything within a week, how to manage the kitchen, do what she does, like basically her job. And then so from then on, I was either at the university, I was at the cafe, or at home. That was my life basically. So,
How did it feel like? Do you still remember that feeling?
Yes, it was very, very exciting as I was just like halfway through my course and I had to start working, I had to do her job basically. And I was just so excited, I get to do something new. I get to be creative. I get to do things, that no one will be able to do at my age, So that was what
I'm kind of happy for you because I'm also on this journey together with you, just in a different industry.
Yeah.
So now you seem to be really happy doing your work. You also get a chance to design the menu for the dishes that are to be served at Living Food.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about? Do you have specifics when it comes to designing the menu?
Well, a lot of them are more based on preference or like things I crave for that day, and I feel like I want to make a healthier version of it so I can have it for myself. So basically a lot of the dishes are actually accidental. They're not actually, I was trying to like be creative and I try to experiment with things, and then it turns out to be something and something great, and then I put it on the menu and people like it, and then it stays on the menu, or sometimes I have it on specials, things like that. Yeah.
So if one day you crave for chocolate, so everything on the menu on that day will be chocolate?
Yes, actually. Most of our things on the menus are seasonal, especially the specials. That's why it changes every month. A lot of the things I create are things I like crave or I'm interested in at that moment.
So I guess it's also some kind of art. Yes. Do you agree?
Yes, it is.
So, do you imply that for living food, right? You mentioned earlier on that you use ingredients such as raw food. What is raw food?
Okay, living food specialty is actually raw vegan, which food is cooked below 42 degrees Celsius, and it's cooked for like a long period of time. Like certain meals can cook for up to like a week, 3 days to a week, minimum 3 days. And so that's what we do. That's our specialty that people come to look for, because it's something new. No one's ever done before. No one has seen here in Malaysia before. So that it's actually part of the slow food movement, which is actually considered slow cooking. But instead of using a pot, it's actually using a dehydrator.
When these foods, when they are served on the table, how different is it from the kind of vegan food that are being savored by the Chinese people? When it comes to vegan food, the ones that served it in a Chinese manner is all made from flour.
Yes. For us, especially because some of our main customers have intolerance or allergies, so they can't take flour, they can't take eggs, dairies, meat sometimes. So some of these dishes are actually made based on what they need and what they want to have, but they can't have outside like regular people. So we have like flourless cakes, flourless tempura. Sometimes I did a living tempura 2 months back. Things like that, it's different from a normal Chinese vegetarian restaurant. That's what they call it, or vegan. It's actually not healthy because they fry it sometimes. The ingredients they use, the way they cook the food, it's actually not healthy. So that's how it's different from the food I do.
Sounds to me like that's a lot of experimentation, like it's trial and error, doing lots and lots of experiments.
Yes, there's a lot of trial and errors, especially when it comes to raw vegan food. Sometimes it takes me out to like a few months just to come up with one dish.
Okay.
A few months, yes.
So now that you have to go through trial and errors until you are satisfied with that one particular dish, can you tell me what tip can you give on the best way to ensure success at the end of the day?
Okay, one thing you must have is very, very good basics. That's one thing I would say you must have. Another thing is you have to understand your ingredient, where it comes from, how you have to use it, like basically just understand your ingredients, what you're using by itself, That's the main point.
I need to ask this to you on behalf of the designers that are listening to this show right now. The typical day of a graphic designer involves spending many hours in front of the computer or going all out and about working on their design. So in your opinion, how can graphic designers be healthier when it comes to food?
Right. So actually, I'm just like them. I was when I first started out. I was like eating regular
So you were
hours.
serving healthy food, but you were not really...
Me, myself, I was not having regular eating hours. What I started off was what my dad recommended. I did a food diary. Basically, I planned ahead what I was going to eat before, so I didn't have to think about it. I already know what I want, so I plan it like in advance, so it comes when I want it to come, So that's the best way I would say. Make a food diary, basically, So it's yeah.
But designers may not even... They know how to sketch, but they don't know how to write a food diary. How can they start? Should they start by listing out their favorite food?
Yeah, you can basically list out what you want. Like that week you feel like having something, you just list out from Monday to Sunday what you want to eat. Or on that day itself in the morning, you just like quickly write down, I want this, that for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
But maybe this might be a good idea for your restaurant, like having a course on designing your food diary.
Up and coming.
Really? Okay, I'm looking forward to that. So, I think we do have a bit more of time. Actually, I'm going to ask you one question. What are the future plans for yourself? I know you manage the kitchen most of the time. You're being cooped up in this environment. It's hot and
I actually very much enjoy being in the kitchen. I can stay there the whole day and not be anywhere else. But at the moment, we have our dinners going on from Thursday to Saturday. We are thinking of having fortnightly's themed dinners, which are like specialties, maybe twice a month, like our upcoming Diwali tea, afternoon tea.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's an afternoon tea, like you have a British afternoon tea, but based on Dilawi sweets, you know. So that's up and coming this month.
Last question for you, Ashley, for this evening. As a young person, what do you think the most important qualities are in starting out as a chef?
As a chef, I think the best would be to have very good basic background, and to
basic
be
background in
like in the kitchen especially. You must know like when it comes to French cooking, they always start with the kitchen. And it's not about cooking, it's about how you organize your kitchen. You must have like basics of the kitchen, basically cutting skills, you know, organization, you know how to manage things by yourself. You don't need someone else to do it for you. And also passion. You must really, really want to do it to be a chef. Because some people discover like halfway through the course they don't want to do it anymore. So you really have to think about it when you go into this course.
We just spoke to Ashley Yiin, the chef of Living Food. If you'd like to try out a healthy dining experience, make your way to the Living Food Bistro and Cafe located in Jalan Tun Razak, Kuala Lumpur. Am I right, Ashley?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for
For
having
more
me here.
info, you can visit the website. That's livingcafe.my, livingcafe.my. We have come to the end of Design for this evening. This episode was brought to you by Motiofixo. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another edition of Design. Drop us a comment on facebook.com/design939 on what you think about entrepreneurship and youth leadership when it comes to managing creative people. In addition, snippets of this show are available on CUTOUT mag/design, produced by Motiofixo, the Ideas Agency. On that note, I'm Vivian Toh. See you next week. This is Designed on Bernama Radio 24.